Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to your daily pre-cal video. Today we're continuing on with sine and cosine functions, and we're going to talk about their periods. Okay, so for the period of a cosine and sine function, it is the distance between any two sets of repeating points on the graph of the function. So if we go back and we look at our sine function, it repeats values at 0, 2 pi, and negative 2 pi. So I would say this distance right here, this 2 pi distance, is our period. Same thing with cosine function. It repeats values at 1 or at 0 and at 2 pi. So once again, this distance right here, this 2 pi distance would be its period. Okay? So for us, we can simply define those two things and we can kind of write our equation. So if you can remember back to yesterday when we talked about a general function, we have two general functions we use for sine and cosine. The first one being y is equal to a times sine of bx plus c plus d, and y is equal to a times cosine of bx plus c all plus d. These two things are base functions, okay? We'll use them quite a bit for the next week or so. They describe how to solve for any certain thing. So for periods, okay, we're actually looking at the b value, okay? Both these terms right here is very important to us. So we need to establish something. This term b cannot equal 0. If it equals 0, it is not a function because 0 times x is 0, so that just goes away. So it can't be 0. So we end up saying a period is not just b, it's actually an equation from b. Okay, so periods equal 2 pi over the absolute value of b. Once again, you take the absolute value because you don't care if it's positive or negative, you just take the absolute value of that number. Okay, so that's all a period is. So we're going to look at cosine of x, and g of x is cosine 1/2 of x. So we're going to look at these two terms, we're going to find their periods, and then we're going to see how they look when you graph them. Okay, um, so for the first one, cosine of x, there's nothing in front of the x value, okay? So we can just say b is equal to 1, okay? So our period would then equal 2 pi over 1, which is just equal to 2 pi. And so if we were to graph that, it would just be a base cosine function. So once again, we would start out at 1, not 0, because we start at 0 for sine. We got 1, at pi over 2, we go down to 0, and negative 1, pi, back to 0, 1, 0, 3 pi, 0, and 2 pi. So it should look something like this. We have our wave action going. I'm sorry this is not better, but doing the best with what I can. So it looks something like this, okay? This is going to be our f of x equation. But now we're going to talk about g of x. So for g of x, once again, we need to establish b first. So b is going to equal 1/2. So since b is equal to 1/2, we can find our period, okay? Period will equal 2 pi over b, so 2 pi over 1 over 2. Now, very important, that 1 over 2 is a entity on its own. It is not just saying 2 pi divided by 1 divided by 2. Okay, you have to divide the fraction. So in order to do that, we need to set up 2 pi as a fraction as well. So we're going to have to rewrite this to say 2 pi over 1 divided by 1 over 2. We do that because 2 pi is by itself and 1 over 2 is by itself. Now that we've done this, this is pretty simple to solve because dividing by fractions, we just take this bottom term right here and we flip it and multiply. So we're going to say 2 pi over 1 times, we take the bottom term, 1 over 2, we flip it, and we'll multiply by it. So 2 over 1. Okay? So we multiply straight across, and we end up getting 4 pi over 1, which is just 4 pi. So then, now we have our period for cosine 1/2 of x. So that means we're going to repeat values at 1 and at 4 pi. But it's not going to, it's going to go, it should resemble this section right here, but just expanded. So all values are probably going to go over 1 to 2, just depending on the situation, and we'll kind of go over that as we go. But we'll have one full cycle all the way to 4 pi. So we'll start out here again, but instead of going down at pi over 2, we're going to go down at pi. And then we'll go to -1 at 2 pi. We'll go back to 0 at 3 pi, and we'll go up at 4 pi. So that means when I draw this, look like this. Okay? And this is g of x. Okay? And now you can kind of see the difference between the periods. A period will expand it or shrink it, just depending on what's going on. So when that period is greater than 2 pi, it'll expand it, it'll stretch it. Okay, stretch it horizontally. When it's less than 2 pi, it's gonna like kind of shrink it, kind of make it like an accordion. Kind of you think about it, pulling in a accordion and kind of compressing an accordion. That's it for today. I'll post your assignment, okay, on your Google Classroom. Just make sure to check it, guys. And for you seniors, guys, I hope you're having a good time through all this. I know it's crazy, and I know your senior year's kind of just been up and down just because of all this. But, guys, just kind of live in these moments and just do what you can. I know you're supposed to be in your houses and you can't really do much, but do the best of it, okay? I made that Discord server for y'all. Okay, I made it so y'all can go in and you can go in as a class and y'all can talk to each other, y'all can communicate with each other, because I know you're missing your friends and you don't get to see them all the time, you don't get to talk to them all the time. That Discord server allows you to go in there and just talk to them, okay? Talk about the homework or the questions, or just just talk to each other, okay? I want y'all to feel like y'all can go and y'all can do that kind of things in that server, okay? Make sure you don't do anything that get you in trouble in there, okay? I'm watching, I'm monitoring, I'm making sure everything is appropriate we put in there, but once again, use that to your advantage, okay? Have a good day, guys, and I guess have a great day, okay? Peace.